The reason I went to this caravan park was I knew in '74, I'd been there, in '74 two people had been killed, and it's quite close to a river or a creek, and I knew that it would be fairly heavily impacted. When we first turned up, there was quite a panic. The water was rising through the creek, and some of the vans were already starting to be inundated, and people were grabbing whatever possessions they could and scrambling to put them in their cars and take off. Some people couldn't evacuate themselves, so the police were helping to evacuate them. It was quite clear that the caravan was going to go the same way it did in 1974. When I turned up on the Sunday, people had just been allowed back into their van, so they were cleaning what they had. They were throwing out throwing everything out and salvaging what they could. The scene was quite incredible. There were caravans on top of other caravans, and some were just smashed to pieces. Some people had lost everything. Some had one or two small possessions which they were trying to clean. There were a few volunteers when we first turned up, but by the end of the day there were stacks and stacks of volunteers helping. But it was quite sad, really, because you could see these people really didn't have much to start with, and everything they had just been devastated by the water. You don't want to intrude, you just want to, but you know that you have to tell their story somehow, and it's really hard to know how to approach these people. I find that just having a bit of a chat first, and then getting to know their story, getting to know them, and quite often we'll put the cameras down and help out, move a bit of trash or try and make sure they're comfortable. I found overall these people were quite stoic, and really there wasn't much they could do about it, so they were just trying to do the best they could and carry on the best they could with what they had. But unfortunately most of the caravan park was going to be bulldozed, and they were just getting out what they could before the bulldozers came through. A couple of people had buses which they were going to try and relocate, but unfortunately most of them were going to lose everything. It's the people that are important. You've really got to try and tell their story, and I just try and focus in on them, and you don't want to set anything up, you just want to record it as it happens. So but usually I just follow them around and have a chat to them and ask them if it's okay if I can photograph them, and 99 times out of 100 it's fine. Sometimes people get a bit upset by the camera, but I think most of them realise that you have to tell their story, and by getting that story out, then they can receive receive some help. I think it's the people that don't get any attention, that go unnoticed, that fare the worst. This area was a little bit of a microcosm. It was its own little community. I think that reflected the rest of society. These people weren't wealthy. They didn't have $1 million houses, and they didn't have much at all. And I think these are the people that can really benefit from the publicity that we can give them, or the exposure that we can give them. You find that it might be one picture which might make the difference, and someone reading the newspaper might be driven to donate or to give a fridge or toys or something like that to help these people out, or maybe give them accommodation or something like that. And sometimes that one picture does say 1,000 words.